Dirty dog out the club. Street park the Acura. Two socks, house slippers. 40-ounce malt liquor. Give me ham, no burger. No bag, holla mo. Eat it like a mother, kiss your face butter. Hit you with the lights off, Stevie Wonder.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Wally with Beach River Landscapes. I want to bring you guys a review on the ECHO PE2620 Edger. Now this is a stick edger, it's a curved shaft edger, and the reason I want to bring this to you guys is I get a lot of questions comparing this to the FS91 that we have. You guys have seen some footage on the FS91 that I did, and so I will say that the reason I got interested in doing a comparison, and I asked ECHO if, about getting an edger to compare it, is because I've had a couple of the guys that just really weren't so happy with the FS91, and I gotta say, it's probably one of the first pieces of Stihl equipment that I wasn't crazy about, So we don't use it. It actually just we use the FS90 instead. And if we need to break out another edger, then we use the 91. We've used it here and there, but primarily the guys like the 90. So I was really interested to see what what ECHO has to offer. So so here we have the 2620. So I got some specs. I'm just going to read you guys. Now on paper, the FS91 definitely seems the boastier edger out of the two. So like this has 25.4 cc's, the FS91 is 28.4 cc's, I think. This weighs 14 pounds, the Stihl FS91 weighs a little over 12 pounds. This actually carries 21 ounces of gas versus 24 ounces of gas in the Stihl, so when they're at full capacity, you're going to kind of offset some of that weight. But here's one thing I did notice though, is that this is shorter than the FS91. I didn't look up any specs. As you can see, I took some shots, but this is shorter. I definitely feel like, when I've used this, we haven't used it much, so I've messed around. We have some new saw that was put out in the yard, so I just kind of ran through it. It hasn't been edged yet. Well, some of it hasn't been edged yet, some of it has. So I went through the part, I started off first, as you can see, where I was hitting spots that haven't been edged yet. Power, torque, the whole, that whole part, this thing's pretty sick. I like it. I actually like this handle, the way that it kicks back at like a 45. And I do notice that the shaft on this actually bends inward more. And so I'm going to hit on that because there's a negative to that. So you guys know that I'm not really crazy about the 2620 weed eater with the handle weed eating, and this does have the same handle, but for some reason running this on the edger, I didn't notice the handle to be that big of a deal running it as an edger. But a weed eater, definitely different, because you know when you're swinging things around, you're going left to right, you know the handle, you know the edges on the handle on the bottom side, you know, are still, I mean, it's still a problem, you know, for me. So but not so bad on the edger. Now as far as comparing this, the whole point is comparing this as an alternative, because I had a lot of guys say, what's an alternative to an FS91? Because I've had some people say the same thing, like, man, I got an FS91, it's the first time I've really not been into an edger. A lot of guys are like, oh my god, I love this thing, it's the best edger on the planet. But I noticed that, you know, the new design on, you know, the Stihl FS91, the engine is very broad, very bulky. So even though it's only 12 pounds, it is longer. I really feel like it's head heavy this time, you know. So I'm, you know, using it. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. It's still a great piece of equipment. We use it, you know, as a backup. We're about to use it full time, you know, a lot more. So we'll probably bounce back and forth between this. I haven't had the guys run this yet, so I will do an update on what the crew thinks, because I like to get, you know, the crew's input on everything. But right off the bat, for me personally, this may weigh 2 pounds more on paper, but it's a shorter shaft. Overall, it's definitely about 3 inches shorter. It feels like roughly 2 to 4 inches shorter. It's definitely from the back of the motor to the end of the blade. It's shorter. So for me, like that, the 2 pound difference, I didn't notice it. The steel actually feels heavier in my hand than this does, and this is 2 pounds more. So I think it's just really head heavy on the FS91. So that I'm not a huge fan of that for a reason. I just, like I said, just felt very, I like to use the term Minecraft. You know, if you guys have kids, you play Minecraft, you know what I'm saying. It's very Minecrafty feeling, you know, like using the FS91, you know, with the motor just being so broad, big, and just the way it, you know, the way it sits. So having a bigger gas tank is great, especially with us. We do a lot of commercial properties. So the bigger the gas tank, the better. This does have a smaller gas tank. I don't know about the fuel efficiency. This may compensate, you know, that 3 ounces of gas difference. So I have no idea. But I just, right off the bat, I liked using this better than the FS91. So having said that, FS91 again, you know, great machine. I want to see what the guys think about it though. So what I would say is definitely, you know, it feels different because the wheel setting and the whole head on this thing is way bigger than the Stihl. So that first it was a little odd because I thought it would just feel, I don't know, I just thought it would just feel very heavy, but it's just kind of like a, I don't know, it's very compact feeling, kind of like a 38, you know what I'm saying, if you know what I mean. You know, it's like a 38 stub nose. So it feels very compact and solid when I'm using it. And the big wheel actually felt better, you know, than like the smaller wheel. So it just felt like you definitely had more control of how much clearance, because I hate, you know, grinding the bottom of, you know, the gearbox on, you know, the ground, you know what I'm saying, it eventually tears it up and it rips everything to pieces. So again, I like the handle on this. On the Stihls, they're more straight up. The new one, it goes to more of like a weed eater style handle, which is great. But I think that in conjunction is kind of part of the problem too. Having that more low profile deal on an edger doesn't work. I like the taller old school Stihl handle on there, so I think that they should honestly go back to that. But doing that more low profile weed eater style handle in the edger, I don't like it. So I like this. I would definitely recommend ECHO keep this whole handle style just the way it is. So, you know, I don't need to drag on about it. At the end of the day, which one would I use? Now, when it comes to the 2620 weed eater, I would prefer the, you know, the FS100s by Stihl. They're just way more comfortable. The 2620 weed eater is powerful. You guys heard me talk about that, but I don't like it ergonomics. It feels like a Minecraft weed eater, man. So it feels too blocky. I think that maybe they're trying to work on that because, you know, we have the Shindawa 262 and that's the go-to, man. That's some of us, that's our favorite weed eater. It's like a cross between like the 100RX Stihl and the 2620. It's got this power, and it's actually got the biggest cut on the market, 20-inch cut on it, super comfortable. So I love the handle system Shindawa. You know, it's owned by ECHO now, but so I like the handle system on there. But you know, the 2620, honestly, just sits there. You know, we bought it, you know, just to try it out, hopes to use it more, but we kind of use it on things where we need, you know, to really rip into stuff that we don't want to use on the Stihl. And you can actually take the guard off of the 2620, and it's covered under warranty. It's the only weed eater that does that. But so as far as, you know, preferring ECHO over Stihl, vice versa, Husqvarna, I mean, it's not about that. So I like so far this Edger better than the FS91, but I like the FS90 better than both of these Edgers. But if I had to pick, when and if I get around to me personally doing edging, I'm going to actually pick up the PE2620. I like it better. So again, it's, you know, it fires up, you know, it's easy. I know you guys, you know, there's been a lot of thing back and forth with like Stihl equipment firing up faster, ECHO firing up faster. I don't think we should get into that, because that's just, that is per individual, per area, per all that stuff. Down here we have really good luck. I actually tend to have more luck with my Husqvarna and ECHO equipment firing up faster than we do the Stihl stuff. We definitely, you know, get arm fatigue when it comes to Stihl down here, you know what I mean? So, but definitely I highly recommend the Edger if you guys, and price wise they're about the same. I've seen them, they're around $350, $360 for the Stihl and for the ECHO. But one thing I have noticed is when you go into a place like Ace somewhere that sells Stihl, they don't give you a deal. It's like, I mean, it's like, you know, Gucci, man. It's like, it's one price everywhere, what I've noticed over the years. But with ECHO, you can go to an ECHO dealer and they'll work you deals, you know what I mean? So that's a cool part of dealing with ECHO in general. But I definitely recommend it. If you guys have any questions, make sure to hit us up. But this is the ECHO, and this is their new line. It's the Pro Extreme, you know, it's the X series. It's been out for a little bit, but I haven't seen much talk with this compared to the FS91. I've had a lot of you guys ask, so that's why I wanted to give you my thoughts. So final thoughts on this. The FS90 I like better than both of these. The FS91 compared to the PE2620, I prefer the 2620 Stick Edger. Now, real quick before I go, here's one negative. It is a little bit shorter, and that creates a problem with the racks. You know, we run green touch racks, only green touch racks. So the problem is the shaft is shorter and it starts to bend. So I'm going to have to take this handle, I'm going to have to shift it back here, probably butt it up against here, so I can shift this back, which allows me to shift the entire edger a little bit forward to pull this arm about back here. Because right now the way that it's set, I'm having a hard time getting it because of the bend is so significant, being kind of a little shorter, that it makes it a little harder to put into the green touch racks, or probably any wall mounted racks that you have that are similar. So that's something I'll update you guys on. I'm gonna move and shift all this back and then see if it gets in there a little bit easier. I get it in there, but it, you know, it binds up a little bit and it sticks. So, and that I figured out today finally is because it's just a shorter shaft edger. But it's pretty sick, man. It rocks. I really like it. Anyways, you guys got any questions? Just hit us up, and we'll see you next time.